In this video, I'm going to explain to you why you can't speak in front of a camera and why you can't speak in front of a crowd. And I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks to help you kind of overcome these issues. So subscribe, stick around to the end, and check out the links in the description for some cool stuff. Now, it was maybe about 3 years ago, I was 13 years old, and I had to do this kind of speaking and listening test in year 9 or whatever it was, whenever it was. It was on some kind of topic of aliens or some supernatural thing. But when I got up to do the test, I froze up, I stuttered, I stumbled. You could kind of tell that I was incredibly nervous, just like everyone else. And the problem is it's not been till now that I've realised that this may be a bigger problem to society than we may realise. And it's due to the fact that I was probably one of the better halves of the year, despite my bad performance, because most people didn't actually try. They either didn't really turn up to school that day, or like they got these kind of permission slips where they were allowed to just like not do the performance. And it's sad because talking in front of a crowd or to people is such a necessary skill in the workplace, in business. No matter whatever the hell you kind of choose to do with your life, you're going to end up having to speak to a group of people that you may not know before, like at some point in your life. And the reason why that most people can't do this is because we've not been taught from a young age. Because imagine that you're 5 years old in your infant school and you're talking to like your teachers or your school year on something that you love, and you're not going to care if you stutter and stumble because you're 5 and you don't really need the social validation of performing well. You're not feeling the social pressure of performing well because you're 5 years old. And if we did this kind of stuff in schools, in our infant schools, we'd be so much more accustomed to actually being able to speak to people, speak to a crowd, speak to people, because we'd know how to do it and we'd be less nervous than what we currently are now, because we don't feel the social pressures as much because we've done it before when we were like younger and our brains are kind of molded and used to it. And the way to actually being able to do it in our modern society when you're maybe older is by just sort of doing the same thing but trying to do so much more. And you're going to just have to repeat and like go through this process so many times where you just try to talk to a camera, try to talk to a group of people, no matter what it is. I mean, for these YouTube videos, back when I was recording my first kind of YouTube videos, I'd stutter and stumble, like when I'm trying to record and relay the information. I'd end up like freezing up and I wouldn't be able to kind of say the words like when I'm starting to record, and I just sort of forget the script and like everything would just go wrong. However, I've got more used to being able to just kind of improvise and only look at my script every so often because I'm just more used to speaking to a camera now. And hopefully I can use this information when I go into the workplace or I go into business and actually have to talk to groups of people. And there are other neat tips and neat tricks that you can use to improve how much that, like how effective that your information and your speaking to people is, because being able to speak to people is one thing and being effective at it is the other. To be able to speak, you just have to repeat the process over and over again until you're okay at it. But effective speaking is where you just have to talk about something that you're slightly passionate about. And that way you'll probably end up forgetting about the social pressures once you kind of start to just like the nerves sort of go away once you start your speech or performance. You'll be talking about a sport that you love. For instance, we had to do GCSE speaking exams at the start of our year 11, and we had to talk about some kind of book that we never actually really liked or never really read. And I would have much preferred to talk about like something that I actually liked, like a sport, maybe racing or cars or whatever it is. So many people would have much preferred to talk about something they're passionate about, even if they struggle and have anxiety, because like they like this thing and they want to tell other people about it. And being able to speak about something that you're passionate about is also going to be an effective way to make you speak to a group of people, because you're going to want to tell these other people about it. And you probably won't end up caring in the end what they think of your little niche or sport that you love, because you're going to be so immersed in talking about the things that you love that you're just not going to care. And that's just the way to start to not care as much about what other people think of you, when you're public speaking, in like social situations, talking to a group of people. You just have to repeat the process over and over and over again to be kind of good and okay at speaking to people. And then to kind of improve on that, you just have to start being passionate about the things that you are talking about. And that will also help you be able to speak like well and normally. Because if we talked about something that we loved in our year 9 speaking assessments, the one that I used as an example at the start of this video, so many more people would have been able to actually talk about something that they loved. They would have actually been able to go up and talk to the class if they were able to speak about something that they wanted to speak about. Because nobody's going to really care about the supernatural or some random book if they don't care about the supernatural or some random book, and they're going to be less effective at speaking about it if they don't really care. So I hope you found value out of this little educational video on how you can improve your speaking, how you can actually start to overcome your social anxiety about speaking, just like repetitiveness and doing it over and over and over again, and like speaking about things that you're passionate about. And if you need any other help on anything like self-improvement related, I have some links in the description that should help you out, and I recommend subscribing because it's free. And I love this community of young tribal men who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have. So good luck.